Hello guys, Flanke here. Today we're going to look at the Tier 8 American heavy tank T32. People have mixed feelings about the T32, some love it, others hate it. In my opinion, most people who think the T32 is a bad tank is probably because it isn't as dominant on the battlefield as the T29 was, and thus they don't feel an improvement as they go one tier up. Let's proceed to the statistics of the tank. First, let's start with the armor. On the front we have 127mm of penetration, 76mm of penetration on the sides and 51 on the back. 127mm on the front means you cannot rely so much on the front armor. Your hull is less armored than most of the heavies that have a similar design. Now the turret armor is a whole different story, with 298mm on the front, 197mm on the sides and 152mm on the rear. T32 has the strongest turret armor of all tier 8 heavies. That means you can be very effective at going hull down. The only major weak spot is that cupola, which is actually quite hard for most people to hit. So just move or juggle between shots and you'll be fine. The view range is excellent at 400 meters. That means you and the Carnarvon have the most view range of all tier 8 heavies. The turret reverse is 25 degrees per second, which is again the lowest of all tier 8 heavies. T32's top gun is a 105mm gun. The average damage is 320. You have the least amount of penetration on your standard ammo, at 198mm of penetration. The gold ammo is APCR and can shoot up to 245mm of penetration, and the high explosive ammo has 53mm of penetration. Gun depression is excellent at -10 degrees. Again, the only tank that has that much gun depression as the T32 is the Carnarvon. Accuracy isn't that good at 0.41 meters. At least the aiming time is only 2.3 seconds, so things balance out. Rate of fire is 5.60 rounds per minute, which means you reload every 10.6 seconds. Damage per minute is 1811, which is average compared to the other tier 8s. Now let's proceed to the mobility. The tank weighs 57.5 tons. Top speed is a problem, with only 35 km per hour. Backwards you can reach 14 km per hour. The engine has 800 horsepower, which is a lot, but the power to weight ratio is only 13.9, which is average, and that is mainly because the tank weighs a lot. Chance of setting your engine on fire is about 20%, which is like most of the heavies on that tier. Only tanks that have diesel powered engines have less percent of catching on fire. The hull traverse speed is the lowest of all tier 8 heavies, with only 25 degrees per second. That means you're really vulnerable to fast moving mediums or light tanks that can circle you easily. For crew skills, you should go for repairs, then once you have 100% change to 6th sense. For the gunner you should get snapshot. The driver either smooth right or clutch braking, but since the T32 has such a slow traverse speed, clutch braking will probably be better. Situational awareness for the radio man, and for the two loaders, safe stowage and adrenaline rush. After that, go for brothers in arms. Equipment you should use: first, improved ventilation, then gun rammer and vertical stabilizer. Gun laying drive won't help you that much because you already have a great aiming time. Some people prefer to use coated optics instead of improved ventilation, but I think 400 meters of view range is enough, at least for the majority of the battles. Let's sum up the advantages and disadvantages the T32 has. The advantages are that the T32 has the most reliable turret of all tier 8 heavies. It also has good gun depression, which combined with a strong turret armor will make any of your opponents angry. Model grind isn't awful since you get most of your things from the T29. The disadvantages are that the hull armor is really weak. 198mm of penetration is subpar for a tier 8 heavy tank, but once you get used to it, it will be fine, except of course if you face tier 10s. So many people say that the T32 can be quite effective for side scraping because of the position in the turret, but if you don't have at least some cover to hide your tracks or lower plate, it won't be effective. The tracks are so easily destroyed, and in certain situations it might look like you've angled perfectly, but that isn't the case. Overall, just use the specified terrain on the maps to maximize your power. Anyways, it's time for some gameplay. We are top tier on Ruinberg and counter. Since the threat isn't big in the town, I won't go with the mediums on the village, which I do usually if I know I will face tier 9s or tier 10s. That position, unfortunately, is too high for us to use. Better for us to proceed, because the tree line is where the archers always focus. And you see how you can't really rely on your hull armor. Even though we were angled a bit, we must play safe from now on.
Enemy armor is damaged. Penetration. They're knocked out. Enemy armor is hit.
Side scrapping will now work, since we have a lot of cover for our trucks and lower plate.
We didn't penetrate their armor. Penetration. One of our tracks is damaged. Enemy armor is damaged. Target acquired. Target unlocked. Enemy armor is hit. We lost the track. Penetration. We fixed the track. Get going. We've lost. Enemy vehicle destroyed. Get going. That one didn't
Since the accuracy is not that good, the shell hit his upper plate instead of the lower. That shot was bad, because I could have shot his lower plate instead. I wanted to hit his side by shooting his tracks.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
That was a little risky, but since he didn't manage to kill us, we were able to pick the 6th kill for the Top Gun medal.
They're knocked out.
Let's see the post-game stats now. So, we got Ace Tanker Mastery Badge, Steel Woe, Top Gun and High Caliber. We dealt 4800 damage, 6 kills and 1.4k base experience. We only walked 1300 damage, and that's after our mistake where they almost killed us in the beginning. Again, we're top tier on Malinovka, and I'm going to the hill to use my great turret armor.
Enemy is hit.
Like always, you have to move like a clown upwards and backwards so Art doesn't manage to hit and ruin your game.
The rangefinder took a hit. We can only shoot close targets. Viewfinder back up. Visibility increased. Penetration.
Decided to push the Carnarvon and the Panther 8.8 because they were isolated from their team.
They're knocked out. Drive on. Penetration. We've lost the track. Enemy armor is destroyed. Track repaired. Drive on. Gotcha. Penetration. Enemy vehicle destroyed. Enemy is hit.
This arty shot was kinda obvious, but I was greedy. Since we have less than 400 hit points, we must play carefully from now on. I cannot go to the forest like our T28 prototype because their TDs will spot me before I will. so staying on the hill and waiting for them to make a mistake is our best chance.
Enemy armor is hit. Penetration.
At least the prototype managed to spot them before going down.
Enemy is hit.
We need to kill the T-59. And we secure the kill.
Enemy armor is destroyed. Enemy armor is hit. Enemy is hit.
That was a big mistake by the Borsig. So I'm waiting here for the IS so he can cover me while I spot the rest of them.
Enemy armor is damaged. Enemy armor is hit.
Here again I'm greedy for the kill, and instead of going the safe way where the IS is, I'm just staying in the open just in case if I could have snapped him. Let's proceed to the post-game statistics. Got the Ace Tanker Mastery Badge and High Caliber. We managed to deal almost 4.8k damage, 5 kills and almost 1.6k base experience. All of our shots managed to penetrate. You can see that the T32 is a great tank once you get used to it, so I hope this review was useful and I'll see you guys on the next one.